Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava, verse number 106. And we were looking at it, and the verse said, it's in chapter 7, verse number OV number 106. How can the omniscient self, who is the witness of even deep sleep, not see this world of plurality? But essentially, the self is neither the seer nor the seen. And one moment, my eyes have not settled yet. We were looking at the Shuddha Tattva or Sad Vastu, when referred with reference to its potentiality or is Chit, the potentiality itself is Ananda or Ananta. The potentially has several factors. Of these three are immediately relevant when, and they are what? They are the Ichha Shakti, with reference to Ichha Shakti, that continuous existence, the continuous existence, that Sad Vastu is called as Shiva Tattva, and with reference to Jnana Shakti, it is called as Ishvara, and with reference to Sad Vidya, it is called as Kriya Shakti. With reference to Kriya Shakti, it is called as Sad Vidya. We were telling this, that with reference to the woman, with reference to man is called wife, with reference to mother, parents is called a daughter, with reference to children is called a mother. But woman remains the same, exactly same here. That one eternal pure consciousness that I am, with reference to Ichha Shakti at the totality level, is called as Shiva Tattva. With reference to Jnana Shakti at the totality level, it is called as Ishvara Tattva or Ishvara. And with reference to the Kriya Shakti, it is called as Sadvidya. And this way, however, the Shivatva, the Ishwaratva and the Sadvidyatva do not create any bondage on the Sadvastu. Just as the fire does not create bondage on heat or fire, or the sugar does not create bondage of sweetness on sugar. If you understand this statement being made here, then the wifehood or the motherhood or the daughterhood should not create any disturbance on the woman that you are or the man that you are. So the roles should not affect the original. But here what is happening in our daily life? We take the roles as more real than the real. The real is the man or the woman. The roles that they are playing is secondary. But we're taking the secondary as more important than the original. So also we are taking the waker more important than the witnessing consciousness. See, if you're taking waker as important, then you take the dreamer also as important, or the sleeper also important. You're just taking one aspect. Similarly, the woman is invested in either being a mother or any of the three, mother, daughter, or wife. One of the roles she will be invested more than the others. Same way, we are invested more in the waking than in the dream and deep sleep. Therefore, we have taken the waker to be real and the waking world to be real. So, in this manner, here it is said, the Shivatva, the Ishwaratva, and the Sadavidyatva do not create any bondage. So, waker, dreamer, sleeper do not create any bondage on that continuous conscious principle, conscious existence principle that the self is. It's all in our imagination. On the Sadvastu, just as the fire does not create bondage on the of heat on the fire. Can the fire say, "Oh my God, this is too hot, man"? Yeah, cool down a bit, cool down a bit, cool down a bit. Can the sugar create bondage? Does not can the sugar create bondage of sweetness on sugar? So can the waker create the bondage on the continuous self that I am? Can the wave create a bondage on the water which by nature is infinite? No. The pure self is not conditioned by the relationship of the seer and seen. It supports all the seers and seens, but itself is not affected by the seer and seen. So who is the seer? Waker is the seer of the waking world, and seen is the waking world. Dreamer is the seer, and the dream world is the seen. So who are you? Who is unaffected by, uninfluenced by the seer and seen? When at this very moment you are unaffected, uninfluenced by the hearing and the heard, the seeing as the seen and the seen, seer and the seen, by the experiencer and the experienced. Let it all go on. At this moment you are in a satsang, your attention should be on the conscious principle. Catch that you are the witnessing consciousness which is unaffected by the coming and going of the data. That is the only way to explain the truth. We cannot explain what the truth is. We say Satchidananda, but that also our Jnaneshwar Maharaj has refuted. Sat is for Asat. Sat word is used for asat, cancelling the Asat. Chit is used to cancel the Achit. And Ananda is used to cancel or neutralize the Dukkham. So what will you call the Sat? Therefore Buddha said it cannot be talked about. It is Shunya. We cannot speak anything. So it can only be the language of negation. It can only be in such language, such contradictory language, that the truth can be communicated. Communication. Or it can be communicated in silence also, Dakshinamurti Stotram. So rather than getting lost in the words of Amrutanubhava, our attention should be on the constant principle in spite of the words. The truth supports all the seers and seens, but itself is uninfluenced by the seer and seen. In fact, From the absolute standpoint, there is no seer and seen. There is no experiencer and experienced. In other words, there is no subject-object dichotomy possible from the absolute standpoint. Because from absolute standpoint, only absolute is. Everything else is imagined in it. Who is imagining? That absolute as if, because that is our experience. We are absolute by nature. But as if we are behaving as if we are an individual. Wherever the individual comes, there itself the world comes, there itself the Ishvara comes. Jeev Jagat Ishwar. Now we are trying to come back to be the source. So this Triputi of Jeev Jagat Ishwar, or the Triputi of seer, seen, seeing, hearer, heard, hearing, waker, waking world and waking experience, all these Triputis, the triads, do not hold sway over the consciousness that I am. But the consciousness supports it because it's happening, it's a phenomena. Some phenomena will take place. And the phenomena is beautifully explained in our scriptures. Urdhva moolam adashakam ashvattam prahuravya. Chandansi yasya parnani yastam veda sa veda veda. This is the phenomena. But there also in the 15th chapter, in the 3rd or the 4th verse, it is told, oh, we explained to you the upside down tree with all the fruits and leaves and branches and trunk and etc. But there is nothing like that. But because your attention is on the world, so we have to tell you something. That what is nourishing this world? The tree is always nourished by the roots, but this tree is upside down. This world is an upside down tree whose roots are getting nourished by Brahman, which is beyond the sky. But because we have given you this example doesn't mean that there is don't go looking for an upside down tree now. Because we have said this doesn't mean that the world gets to be validated. No, there's only the truth. Anya devatad viditat atha aviditat adhi. That this truth is other than the known and the unknown. Known, thoughts. Unknown, no thoughts. Known, waking and dream. Unknown, deep sleep. Known, manifest. Unknown, unmanifest. Both at the individual and total level. So the truth is other than, in whose presence, today's meditation, in whose presence is the presence of thoughts and the absence of thoughts happening, that you are. But we allow the thoughts, ideas, convictions to hijack us. Hijack the consciousness that we are, which by nature is infinite. By contemplating on this statement alone, one can slowly transcend the relative existence of knower known, because the truth is other than the known and the unknown. So when we think in this manner as given here, just like it is given in the Keno Upanishad, Anya devatad viditat known. Atha aviditat, that is not known. If you create a conviction, you are caught up in thoughts. Truth is not a conviction. Truth is not a conviction. Truth is not a belief. Truth cannot be worked out. And what are we doing? We are still working it out, isn't it? So, for whom is this working out and this whole dialogue, this communication? For the mind. While this is going on, you be the witnessing consciousness. That knack we have to be available to. It must happen. In the 107th OV, Shabda Pramana Khandana is done. The Shabda Pramana cannot be used to establish the truth. In other words, what is 107 verse is talking about, saying is Shabda Pramana Khandana, that the truth cannot be illuminated by the words. So words are important in front of the truth. Just like the day and night, presence and absence, light and darkness, they are important in front of the sun. Sun neither can be illuminated by the light, nor it can be covered by the darkness. But it supports both. Without the sun, day and night cannot happen. Similarly, the words, the only way of our communication to others as well as to ourselves, it is important to illuminate the truth, illuminate the self that I am. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Taittiriya Upanishad says truth is that from where the words return. They cannot illuminate it, so they return. Truth is that which cannot be comprehended by the mind. Aprapya manasa. Prapya means cannot be gained. Manasa, with the mind. With the mind I can gain, I can embrace the laptop, I can embrace this book, I can embrace these words, my mind can go and envelop each of your forms, names. But my mind or anyone's mind or the mind as a principle cannot go and envelop and create an objective experience of the truth that is its source. It cannot. So, and words are nothing but expressions of the mind. So if mind cannot, how can words? So that thought is being is given here. Veda kaya kaya na bole pari navachi nahi ghetale aise kahi zodile nahi zene. Which subject has not been described by the Vedas? But they are not able to describe the truth because it cannot be explained with reference to anything. So I was talking about the thoughts and the words. So what are the best thoughts or the words which we are engaging in order to understand the truth? That's why we are here in satsang. Huh? They are the words of the scriptures, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita. Here, these are the words of a realized master in Amrutanubhava. But what is the statement? The words are impotent. They do not have the capacity to reveal the truth. Why? By something, through a medium, through the medium of, there are different, Shabda Praman, Anuman Praman, through inference, through examples, through words, through imagination, through belief, you cannot reveal the truth. Why? Because all these are ways, means. And to realize the truth, you don't need any ways, you don't need any means, you don't need to do anything. No interference is required. Why? Because you are already that. You are already that. No amount of words, scriptures can convince or bring about the direct experience of water to the wave. You are the wave, truth is the infinite waters. No amount of words of scriptures is going to bring you that realization. But what scriptures does is puts your mind in the right track, so that it, without any consequences, without any reaction, with very gently, elegantly, it's able to dissolve itself initially. It's a click. Realization is a click. Right here and now. For that, mind doesn't need to go anywhere. You don't need to stop talking. You don't need to stop thinking. You don't need to stop feeling. You don't need to stop seeing, hearing, touching, feeling. You don't need to stop waking, dream, deep sleep. Let everything go on. Important thing is, at this very moment, in this instance, you are already that. Either you are, or you are caught up in the mind, or you are in spite of the mind. What subject has not been described by the Vedas? Everything has come under the purview. The Vedas, they explain the entire spectrum of the creation. How this creation came about, what is the best way to live in this world, how the society is divided, how the capacity of the mind can be, the potential of the mind can be expanded, how to be single pointed, and how to manifest or unmanifest things. Everything is given in the Vedas. Vedas are our scriptures. Vedas are the Apaurushaya. Apaurushaya, they are not written by anyone. They were revealed to the great saints and sages of yore. Even these Vedas, they only present to you the truth in contradictions. They never say, truth is only this. No, they cannot say that. Because in the end, Vedas are what? They are only words put in a sequence. And what did we say just now? Words cannot reveal the truth. Then why are we studying? Because if you don't study, you will remain in the darkness, in the ignorance. Something has brought you here. So while listening, while remaining awake, without doing anything, just enjoying the listening, and our attention is on the subject matter that the Vedas are indicating. They are only indicating through the words. You have to realize that I am already that, what the words are indicating, and go beyond the words. See? Words by nature are limited. They have a beginning and end. What subject has not been described by the Vedas? Everything has come under their purview. However, where Atma Tattva is concerned, the Vedas fail, for the eyes do not reach there, nor the speech, nor the mind. In Kenopanishad, the previous, where we said, Anya deva tad viditad atha aviditad adhi. Before that statement, the student, when he asked the teacher, "Oh teacher, kene shitam preshitam manaha?" What is that which is inspiring the mind to think, the eyes to see, the breath to come in and out? The teacher said, "Oh, the mind is inspired by the source of the mind. The eyes are inspired by the power behind by the vision." And this way he kept telling about all the things. He says, "Why don't you give me a straight answer?" The student said. "Why you are beating about the bush that the mind is inspired by the source of the mind? Why don't you tell what it is?" clearly, distinctly. He says, "Oh, this is the only way we know how to explain, because I was also taught like this by my teacher." Because truth is that which cannot be communicated. So if you are asked a question, I have to answer you something, but this is the best way we can answer. And the teacher goes and sits down the student goes and sits down in meditation, and he comes and says, "Yes, I got it." He said, "No, you didn't get it." That time the teacher tells him, "Anya deva tad viditat atha aviditadadi." The truth is other than the known and the unknown. Again the student goes back and sits down in meditation. Contemplation, I should say, not meditation. And then comes back. He says, "Oh teacher, yes, I came to know." The teacher looks at him like this. "What? Again I told you that you cannot come to know." "No, I came to know that I don't know." But it does not mean, because I said I don't know, it doesn't mean that I know. I know that I don't know, but I know that I don't know. The one who has understood truth in this way has come to know the truth. So he is not allowing any conviction to hold on to, for the mind to hold on to. That's the best way. In the ways of contradiction only we can communicate. So that's the same thing he is told here. The eyes do not reach there, nor the speech, nor the mind. It's the same Kena Upanishad. It can only be indicated by the process of elimination, not this, because there is nothing with reference to which the truth can be indicated. Not this, neti, neti. The world cannot reach the truth. The senses cannot reach the truth, because senses can only illuminate something outside. Eyes can see color and form, ears can hear the sounds, tongue can taste something from outside. Can the eyes see themselves? No. Can the tongue taste itself? No. Can the ears hear themselves? No. The mind can also think about something else only. It cannot think about itself. If the mind starts thinking about itself, all the thoughts from the mind will vanish. Try. Because there you must be clear that mind is not equal to thoughts. Mind is the space of the mind in which the thoughts are coming and going. When the thoughts are coming and going, mind is not coming and going. So catch that mind, all the thoughts will vanish. They will die their own death. Just like your eyes, they try to see themselves, all color and forms, all distinctions vanish. Try sometimes. So it is told that there is nothing with reference to which the truth can be indicated. Truth is like this, truth is like that, no like business. It is self-standing, it is self-illuminated, it is self-knowing, it is self-existing. It cannot be like this or like that. It cannot be understood by the mind. It is not a conviction of the mind. It is not a concept of the mind. It is not a subject matter to be objectified by the senses, by the mind, by the intellect. It has never reduced into individual consciousness. It has never become total consciousness. It is ever as it is. Yet it supports all the variety from individual standpoint. That's why we say it supports everything. Continuing. The authority of the Vedas is the word. So So the Vedas are Shabda Pramana. So why have we given so much great importance to the Vedas? They are the ultimate scriptures. First came the word. From the word came the creation. See? So scripture, Vedas are the word. Those who follow the Vedic words, they are called they are the followers of Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan, eternal. Dharma, the righteousness. The followers of eternal Dharma, the eternal truth, the eternal righteousness. They accept the Vedas and whatever the Vedas have to communicate. This is how we individuals, this is what we also say, isn't it? They are the authorities. The ultimate authority is the Vedas. So the Vedas are Shabda Pramana. So Vedas are nothing but words, and from the words we come to know what the world is. And in those Vedas, all the secrets of the universe are given, and interposed in the Vedas somewhere here and there are Upanishads, and these Upanishads take you beyond all the secrets of the universe, the ultimate secret. And what is that secret? The truth. The self is mentioned. It's not revealed, it is mentioned. And there sadhanas are given, contemplations are given, how you can go beyond beyond the word. The words are telling you how you can go beyond the word, but they're not telling you what is beyond the word. They are not telling you. That we have to realize ourselves, because we are already that. How can an inert word tell what the pure consciousness is? Simple conclusion. How can an inert word, what is inert? That which comes and goes. Word is coming and going. There is no life in this world. So how can that which has no life reveal that is giving life to everything? Impossible. So words are of two types. One is that where description needs to be followed by action. The example, the description of yajna rituals and its results. So the Shabda Rashi is associated with do's and don'ts and require action, upasana, etc. So words are of two types in the Vedas. One is of those words which require action to follow the words. So those are the first part, which is the Brahmana part, where all the rituals are given, and those rituals, the two parts are there. One is the ritual part and one is the single pointedness part, upasana part. And what happens in the ritual part? Oh, you have to chant the mantra, and you have to invoke the fire in the fire pit in a particular way. You have to light the fire in a particular way. You have to offer the ghee in a particular way with the mantras. You chant the mantra, idam na mama, om agniotratmane namaha, idam na mama. So you have to say all those mantras, and all those mantras have a corresponding action to follow. And when you are doing this, there are many do's and don'ts. That you should not drink in between, you should not get up in between, you should not touch the left hand in between, you should, after every action, you should touch the right hand with some water and purify it, and again use and it goes on. If you have made a mistake, then the whole sentence has to be repeated all over again. And so many rules and regulations are there. Same way in the mantra, upasana, when we are chanting Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavad Vishavahi. If you make a mistake, you can't just stop and start from where you stop. No, you should start from the beginning. When we are chanting Ganapati Atharva or Hanuman Chalisa doesn't come in Vedas, but when we are chanting Narayana Suktam, Purusha Suktam, Rudram, there is a paddhati, there is a methodology to be followed. No shortcuts are allowed. Why? The goal is what? First, when we are doing the fire sacrifices and everything, why we are doing that? So that our attention is weaned away from the world and is focused on the fire. We are a doer. We like doing things. So you are told, do the act of invoking the fire and do the act using these words and do the act by performing these actions after you have chanted those words. And you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do this, you should not do this way, you should not do that way. So much. And the person has to be very, very alert and vigilant when he is performing that fire sacrifice. He becomes focused. And it is seen that when you are doing, and among all the sacrifices, the greatest sacrifice is of the japa sacrifice, chanting the name of the Lord. So initially it is told you should have your seat of worship, you should take shower, you should light the lamp, then you should sit down, you hold the mala in a particular way, the rosary in a particular way, and chant the mantra or chant the Vedic mantras, and to make a vow that I'm going to chant 100,000 or 200,000 and complete it. Make a commitment. But as you mature in it, slowly, it is seen when you are doing a fire sacrifice or you are doing the japa sadhana, chanting the name of the Lord. Sometimes along the way, everything stops. You have not gone to sleep, but your mind gets absorbed within. And all activity, whether it is the fire sacrifice activity or it is the chanting of the mantra activity, in japa, everything comes to a standstill. Sometimes for a moment, sometimes for longer periods. Now we are coming to the culmination. We are coming to a point where our mind, and then automatically that type of person, teacher will come into your life. The purpose of fire sacrifice or japa sacrifice was what? Was it to establish that fire sacrifice is important? Was the chanting of the name of the Lord to establish that chanting is important? Or were those exercises invoked so that we purify, we become single pointed, and we get absorbed into the being that we are already? Then automatically the Upanishads come into, when we are coming to the mature, when you do the fire sacrifices properly, you mature into japa sadhana. When you do japa sadhana properly, you mature into Vedanta. And in Vedanta, what does it say? No action is required. No activity is required. You are already that. But because of a predisposition that I have to do something, therefore those activities, gross activity and subtle activity was mentioned. Only to come to the Upanishad, where it is told no activity is valid in order to know the truth. But if this statement was given to the person who is just beginning, he will not understand. To understand the statement or this particular text called Amrutanubhava, we have exhausted the activity, the gross activity. We have exhausted the mental activity. And with that exhaustion, when we come to these texts, then whatever the words are being heard, straight away they hit their mark. So, first was the words which demand an action after it is being uttered. I want to reach the shopping center. It demands activity afterwards. The words are spoken. Because you have spoken, you have not reached the shopping center. In your mental imagination, maybe, but you cannot buy anything and bring back anything. It demands activity. You must go out, either drive or walk to the shopping center. Similarly, is this japa and the fire sacrifice and the upasana. It demands activity when you are saying Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishthad Dashangulam. It is demanding an activity of imagination of the mind that Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, that the Supreme Being, the universal being, we are not talking about the truth, we are talking about the universal being. He is having infinite number, Sahasra Shirsha, infinite number of heads, infinite number of hands, infinite number of eyes, infinite number of feet. And that who is in this way, it's a caricature, no? How can someone have infinite heads and infinite hands and infinite? And then it is told, where is he located? He is located within your heart. Atyatishthad Dashangulam, he is located at 12 finger distance from your from you. Either you take it outside or you take it within. If you take from the speech, 12 fingers away is your heart. The distance between this thumb and this finger is 12 fingers. Try. Not my hand, your hand. Your hand and your fingers. The distance between the thumb, when you stretch them out completely, it's 12 fingers. Everything in your body is 12 finger apart. Every joint is 12 finger apart. So it is told, the truth is 12 finger up outside from here. Every chakra is 12 finger apart. We are going away from the topic. Extra information for you. Second type of Shabda Rashi is declaration of the truth. So, when we have purified our mind by doing the fire sacrifice, that leads to concentration of the mind. That initial concentration of the mind is exposed to deeper concentration by doing the upasana mantras, like I was saying, Sahanavatu, Bhadram Karne Bhi, Rudram, etc., etc., or merely chanting of Om. You develop a deep concentration on one to the exclusion of everything else. In the fire sacrifice, the fire was there, the oil was there, the wood was there, the mantra was there, the people were there, the water was there, the akshata rice was there, the samagri was there, which has to be offered to the fire. You have to continuously make sure that there is no smoke, only the fire is burning. So much alertness is required, and you get exhausted after some time. Some people enjoy it because they are not subjective oriented. If you are subjective oriented, your goal is to purify, you will, if you are genuinely, sincerely doing it with the attention of knowing the truth, you will very quickly migrate to japa sadhana. If you are doing japa sadhana to genuinely come to know the truth, vaikhari madhyama pashyanti para, you will very quickly come to know the self. You will very quickly, it will lead to meditation. But when you come to meditation, then question again remains. When you come out of meditation, the world is still there. Then how do I convert the calm, the peace, the tranquility, the at-one-ment with the self on the seat of meditation? Why do I lose it when I open my eyes and come out of meditation? Then the next migration is Vedanta, the Upanishads. And here a different type. Before the words were to invoke fire. Then in Upasana the words were to invoke concentration. Now the words are not to invoke anything. The words are to as he says here, to declare the truth. That is the Upanishads. This is the Paddhati. This is the system of our Vedas. Upanishadic statements are only one or two here and there in every in the entire Vedas. Only few here there. Majority of the mantra, 70% of the Vedas is only how to achieve all your desires, how to manifest all your desires through fire sacrifice or through japa sadhana. Some person by grace, instead of wanting anything from the world, shifts his attention to the truth. Then he will come to the Upanishads and start appreciating the Upanishads. So, second type of Shabda Rashi is declaration of the truth. In declaration, words are used to indicate the truth. Words are used to indicate the Paramatma Tattva. Before, what was being done? In fire sacrifice, the words were being used to invoke the various potentialities. Various potentiality, we call in technical word is Devatas. In Upasana, the single pointed, the japa and etc., those words were invoked to invoke the totality was being invoked. Totality was being invoked. And in Upanishads, we are not invoking. We are only stating. We are only declaring. What? That which is always. Either take it or leave it. By you leaving it, it doesn't become less, and by you accepting it, it doesn't become more. What has been indicated as the truth in the Upanishads is the constant principle, is the substratum. So here it says that in this declaration, words are used to indicate the Paramatma Tattva, the truth, but the words become totally impotent. That is, the Vedas fail to describe the truth. How can the words which are temporary, which are impermanent, which are coming and going, which are a part of the creation, reveal that which is beyond the creation and in and through the creation? How can effect come to know the cause? Can the senses come to know the mind? Can the mind come to know the self? Can your eyes see their own source, the vision? Catch the principle. So how can the words, which by nature are impotent, are incapable, do not have the capacity, are because by nature they are temporary, how can a temporary word reveal the permanent truth? Impossible, no? Furthermore, they cannot ever refer the truth with reference to something else. The words also cannot we use, but we have used the different pramanas in the scriptures only to refute that these pramanas are all the means of knowledge are null and void in explaining the truth. The word, all these various means of knowledge are valid when there is something objective in front. But when it comes to the truth, all the means, they become null and void. They become important. For example, the Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi, the great statement of truth from the Upanishads is Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Brahman, the infinite absolute reality. I am that Brahman, I am Brahman, is a form of thought. So when we say Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, these are three thoughts put together to form one sentence which conclude as I am the absolute. But it's a thought in our mind. This unspoken but nevertheless firmly rooted conviction that I am the body. So just as Aham Brahmasmi is a thought in our mind, I am the body, Aham Dehosmi, is also a thought in our mind. I am listening is also a thought in your mind. I am understanding or not understanding is also a thought in your mind. I am tired or I am inspired is also a thought in your mind. As regards to I am the absolute, and when compared to I am the body, the I am body thought, we have become we are living as if we are convinced with that thought. It has taken grabbed the imagination of our mind. So it has got firmly rooted as conviction in our mind, and we are using the word Aham Brahmasmi, I am the absolute consciousness, to dilute that conviction. Which conviction? I am the body conviction. We want to root it out. Mind does not know the truth between real and imaginary. It's only a play of thoughts, only thoughts coming. Whatever you repeat again and again, it starts believing that. Somehow, for some reason, under the certain circumstances, family, society, everything, we have become convinced that I am the body. And somewhere in your life, you have become exposed to this knowledge, and now there is an inkling of doubt. I am the body or I am the consciousness. So you come to the satsangs, and again you are told you are the pure consciousness, you are the absolute consciousness, you are the infinite consciousness, you are the constant consciousness, you are not the changing one, you are the permanent one. The more you keep repeating and exposing to this, the idea that I am the body, it will start taking the backbench. And slowly, over a period of time, it's up to you. You decide how long it takes, lifetimes or one moment. If I am standing in front of my mom and I am standing in front of my brother or sister, how much time it takes me to drop the son in me with reference to mom and take on the role of a brother with reference to brother or sister? No, I have to do sadhana, I have to do fire sacrifice to remove the sonhood out of me, because this sonhood was with reference to mother, and I have to remove this sense of sonhood, I have to remove the world called mother, and I have to become focused on my brother or sister. Then slowly the brotherhood, the brotherness, it will start getting invoked, and I'll be the brother. Does it take so long for you to think? Or it's instantaneous? So I am an individual, I am the body, and I am the infinite. How much time it should? I am an individual. Individuality is only with respect, with reference to the world, to this body. Aham Brahmasmi, there is no reference. It's referenceless existence. Why should we delay it? Why do you want to create a journey where there is no journey necessary? Because whatever journey you decide, whether it is a fire sacrifice, whether it was concentration or whatever, meditation, it is self-infliction. You are delaying your own self because of your obsession with doing something. But this is the ultimate umbrella, what I am just telling you. Now we have to be true where we are. Okay, I am addicted to do the puja, fire sacrifice. I want to focus. Okay, do the japa, chant om. They cannot refer the truth with reference to something else. For example, the Mahavakyas Aham Brahmasmi is a form of thought. Aham Dehosmi, I am the body, is also a thought. This unspoken but nevertheless firmly rooted conviction that I am the body is sought to be nullified by a counter conviction that I am Brahman. Just like Sat was used, the word Sat was used to nullify, neutralize Asat, non-existence. The word Chit, consciousness, was used to nullify, neutralize Achit, that which is not conscious. Ananda was used to nullify, neutralize misery, dukkham. But because we have used Sat, Chit, Ananda, and we say the truth is Satchidananda, so truth doesn't become Satchidananda. Truth by nature is ever existing, all knowing, self knowing, and ever blissful. It is by nature. By our using the words, it has not become that. Even if we don't use the words, it's still that. And what is that? You are that. Not outside. You are that. That is, I am that which is the container of every size, shape, name, and form. Such contemplation, say of space, when all thoughts about the body cease, will result in the experience of Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything is indeed the pure self and goes beyond the wavehood, oceanhood, and is just water. The pure consciousness does not get associated with anything such as ignorance. I have already touched this earlier in this today's talk. We have to go beyond individuality, we have to go beyond totality, and we have to go beyond the truth only as a thought in our mind. We have to go beyond the self only as a thought in the mind. We have to go beyond that. And what the scriptures say, the methodology is that you come to the silence. In the silence, you discover yourself, or the self will reveal itself. And that self which is illuminating the absence is also illuminating the presence. And what is the presence? The presence is the entire world. Where is the whole world? In space. Where is the space? In the mind. Space is only a thought in the mind. Just like I think of Bodh, and immediately Bodh, I remember that Bodh has come to the retreat, the Bodh has one son and one daughter, that Bodh has become a grandmother, that Bodh has a husband, that Bodh lives in this. Suddenly one word Bodh becomes fragmented into so much data. Similarly, one thought space multiplies into all the variety of, what is the first variety? Air, fire, water, earth. What is the next variety? They all mix and match and permutation combination, and it creates so much variety what you see in the universe. Where is the whole universe existing? In space. So space is in and through everything. But if you really want to stop getting distracted by everything, your attention must go to the space, the source. The substratum of the total universe at a physical level is the space. Without space, universe cannot exist. But if you are a little bit more invoke your intelligence, space is only a thought in the mind. So how can you control the whole world? By not getting affected by space. What do you mean by not getting affected by space? I feel in this house there is very good energy. I feel this temple is very powerful. Temple space is very powerful space. Toilet space is very negative space. Eh? You have created distinctions where there are no distinctions. Your attention is not on space. Your attention is how you feel in a space. Get out of that. So just as there is an outside space in which the whole universe exists, same way there is a mental space in which the outside space exists.
Swami, can you just explain that part again? So if there's no space, is that no thoughts? Is that what you were saying?
Absolutely. Is space affected by appearance of the universe or disappearance of the universe? Will the space feel the pain of breaking this house? Or will the space feel expanded because one house has been constructed? Appearance and disappearance of house or objects in the space has got no influence on the space. Space is untouched, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Now you come to mental space. If this is the truth of the outside space, will you come to the mental space? Because in mental space, all the thoughts, emotions, convictions are coming and going.
Yep.
So is the mind getting affected by coming and going of thoughts, emotions, convictions, memories? It should not, because mind as space, as the accommodative principle in which all this data is coming and going, it is untouched. But is that how we are behaving? Is that how we see our mind? Is our mind in balance, or is our mind reacting to every thought, emotion and conviction that is coming and going? Mental space. But mental space also cannot exist by itself. Mental space is only a projection of the conscious space that we are. So conscious space is even more complete.
Thank you.
So this is the meditation on the three spaces: conscious space, mental space, and gross space. Gross space is only a concept of the mental space. Mental space is only a projection of the conscious space. In other words, conscious space alone is expressing as mental space is alone expressing as the gross space. Conscious space is not influenced by the appearance of waker, dreamer, sleeper. It's not affected by the dream world, dream mind, or the waking mind. The conscious space, the conscious mind, the conscious self is not affected by the waking mind or the dream mind. And the waking mind and the dream mind is not affected by the outside space. Here we are using the space word. So just as space is not affected by what it accommodates within its womb, which is the entire universe, similarly, the mental space is not affected, influenced by what it accommodates as thoughts, words, in convictions, emotions, etc. So also, the conscious space is not affected, influenced, hijacked by the appearance and disappearance of the waking, dream, and deep sleep. Come back to me. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the infinite reality. On one hand, we say that truth is all that there is. That you have to give up the world, you have to give up the senses, you have to give up the mind, you have to give up the convictions, you have to give up the thought, and what remains behind is the conscious truth. This is one approach. Second approach is the truth alone is all the selves, the truth alone is all the minds, the truth alone is all the senses, the truth alone is the whole world. We get confused. Should I be everything or should I withdraw from everything? You have to do both at the same time. I will confuse you even more. So first, till we come to this point where we can see that both these involvement and withdrawal, expansion and contraction, this yo-yo, this yin and yang is nothing but you. Till then, first you withdraw. First you withdraw. Only by withdrawal you will be able to slow down. Only when you slow down by way of focus, by way of concentration, then that contemplation, you will be able to contemplate. When there are too many thoughts, even though we are the self, we are far away because we are thinking about every damn thing in this world other than the self. So focus on the self, focus on Om, become single pointed, concentrated. Automatically the mind will slow down, meaning the thoughts, eruptions will slow down. Then this window of opportunity will open because we want to do something. That's why we want to think. The window of opportunity is where the thoughts slow down. Between the thoughts there is a gap. Where there is a gap, I have not gone to sleep. Where there is a thought, also I am. Suddenly, by grace, it dawns. An unspoken realization takes place that I am other than the presence of the thought and the absence of the thoughts. This is the first realization. Not that there are many realizations, we are just breaking that down. Just for our understanding. The second realization is this self that I am is everything. This is the second part. This is the second part. For that you have to study Vedanta. Otherwise, We are not saying not otherwise. You can, there are, if the grace is there, anyone can come to know because you are already that. But it gets expedited if we get exposed to Vedanta. Otherwise, live in ignorance, you are still the self, you just don't know it, that's all. So many millions are doing it. Nothing is lost, nothing is gained. Therefore, Shabda Pramana is of no avail in knowing the truth. It is beyond the Shabda, it is silence. The aloneness that is experienced in exposing oneself to the silence for long periods of time is the joy of being. So, here, what I was telling you, thought, no thought, thought, no thought, thought, no thought. As you chant the mantra or you contemplate on the truth, the thought eruption in the mind becomes further and further and further apart, and you experience more and more of silence, provided you don't go into sleep in that silence and remain awake in that silence and allow that. And what is this? This is not absence, this is not void, it is conscious silence, it is conscious space. This was space with thought, this is space with, which is pervaded by consciousness that I am. There is nothing called space, there is nothing called absence, there is nothing called nothingness. Where there is no thought, there you are. Why is nothing an object of cognition? So the more we spend time in that silence, in that conscious silence, try this example. Make your room completely dark. Not even one ray of light is coming from anywhere outside. Everything is dark, pitch dark. And sit in your chair or your asana. Keep your eyes open and keep looking at darkness. It should be so dark that you are not even able to see the table, the bed, the fan, the light, the lamp. Because in darkness, even though the objects are there, but you are not able to see them because they are not being illuminated by light. So you are not seeing any distinctions. It is pitch dark, but you are still awake. Do this experiment with yourself. Don't try to look in the darkness. Where is the fan? Where is the table? Oh, I think I can imagine the contours of the table. Don't go in that direction. You have done that enough in your waking life. This experiment is not to prove that you have the potentiality like a cat to see in the dark. That is not our exercise. Our exercise is, in the darkness, I am awake, my eyes are open, and there is nothing to see. There is no distinctions. It's a homogeneous absence. See what happens to you. Who is seeing? Who is present in the darkness? You can't even see your form. You can't see your body. But you, the consciousness, is still present. It becomes self-evident. You don't have to repeat, I am there, I am there, I am there in the darkness. People do that because they are afraid of darkness. So we are doing it in a safe environment, in your room. But do this experiment and see. The thing is, Swamiji, you meditate, you look at darkness and tell us how what was your conclusion. No, you have to do it. It cannot be done in proxy. So the more we expose ourselves to that silence, conscious silence, what is the opposite of conscious silence? Deep sleep. So you have to be awake. when you know that in spite of everything you continue to exist, that is the bliss. That is what Swamiji is saying. That is the joy of being. Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam sheshyastu chinna sanshayah. Dakshinamurti Stotram, this statement comes from Dakshinamurti Stotram, third verse. Dakshinamurti taught the students, the Shishya. How did he teach? Silence with Chin Mudra or silence. Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam. Vyakhyanam is to explain. Vyakhyanam is to expand. What I am doing is taking each sentence of Swamiji's and expanding it for our understanding. How is Dakshinamurti expanding? Through silence. How Ramana Maharshi explained? Through silence. Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam. He is expanding the silence by remaining silent. You cannot expand silence by continuously talking, like I am doing. But at the same time, the silence which is being talked about is that silence which is beyond word and no word, thought and no thought, presence and absence. That is the silence which is being talked about here. He, Dakshinamurti, taught them with silence, but the doubt of the disciples were dispelled. So merely sitting in silence, Dakshinamurti was able to dispel the doubts of the students who had come with doubt. This we hear in the various writings of Ramana Maharshi also. That Ramana Maharshi used to sit in silence, and in his presence, when people will come with doubts, they'll ask a question. He may answer, he may not answer. But sometimes in that utter silence of his, the questioner used to get his clarity. All his doubts were removed. This is the joy of independent existence, where one ceases to be the wave or the ocean and is just pure water, where there is nothing like totality versus individuality. Thus, Shabda Pramana is dropped. From the beginning of this verse and last verse, I have been using this example of ocean, wave and water. We are the infinite waters. We are not the total ocean, and we are not the individual wave. But we support the expression of individual wave and total ocean, but we are ever immersed in our infinity. Because both the totality of the waters and individuality of the water are only phenomena. Phenomena is that which appears but actually is not there. Only water is there. Question is, do we accept as the individual phenomena? Do we accept as the one with all the powers, the total phenomena? Or we are the infinite truth, which is beyond the individual and total phenomena? You have the choice, because you are a human being. You have to exercise the choice, unfortunately. As long as you think you are a human being, you have to exercise the choice. And the choice is whether I am the infinite one, or I am the total one, or I am the individual one, or I am even below that, father, mother, daughter, sister, etc. Choose. Be focused, be concentrated, and transcend. It doesn't take long. He, in Kena Upanishad again it says, he understands it who comprehends it not, and he understands it not who feels he has comprehended it. It is the unknown to the master of true knowledge. It is the unknown to the master of true knowledge, but to the ignorant it is the known. Meaning, yes, I have come to understand it, I have come to know, I have come to know, then you don't know it. If any teacher says, I have known the truth, run away. Truth cannot be known. Knowing and not knowing is only at the level of mind, not at the level of consciousness. It's only at the level of mind. Truth is beyond the mind. So it's not a topic of understanding, it's not a topic of comprehension, it is not a topic of experience, it is not a topic of I have stopped becoming the truth. You can never stop being the truth. And you can never become the truth, because you are already it. So you have never lost it, you can never gain it. The truth has never been lost, the truth can never be gained. Then what we are doing here, sitting and listening to you? If there is nothing to achieve, when I have never lost it, then why should I listen to you? You answer that. If you are not feeling at one ment with the entire universe, that means individuality is existing. That means truth is only a concept in your mind about which you are still not convinced, because you are not able to see yourself in everything and everyone. That transformation must happen. In this way, this verse number 106, 107, oh, did I chant the 107th verse? We did. We did chant, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll leave it here. Keep contemplating wonderful exposition here, and the next topic in the 108th verse is this Atma Tattva, this essence, this essence of the self cannot be comprehended by any other light known to us. न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्यतो भान्ति कुतो यमग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. हरिः ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम.